Russia's foreign minister has urged the U.S. to maintain contacts with all sides in the Syrian conflict, except for jihadist groups. Sergei Lavrov, speaking after talks in Moscow with Syria's opposition leaders, also welcomed the rebels' willingness to take part in the Geneva negotiations set to resume next week. But while politicians push for a breakthrough, time is running out for people living in the war zone, as Maria Finoshina reports.
Lesson of Arabic in a Syrian elementary school. These boys and girls may look like ordinary kids, but they've already faced a lifetime of adult experiences.
We
left school that day and crossed the road. I saw Sarah and then a missile fell somewhere nearby. Me and my cousins ran for cover. The next day when I went to school, our teacher told us that Sarah died. God bless her.
Sarah's sister was also killed that day. Hadija is now afraid to go to school, but she responds with a bravery that many grown-ups would be proud of.
I hear from my parents, teachers and friends that there is a lot of people dying, but I will not surrender. I will continue to study to rebuild my country.
Amid the violence of a protracted war, the kids grow up very fast.
I feel afraid because of this, and I feel sad because it's not okay to see kids killed like this. It's not good that Syrian kids die like this.
Ziad is 11 years old. The Syrian conflict has claimed 4 of his relatives. He was 8 when it started, and he's had no real childhood since.
I ask myself, these girls, why did they die? They have nothing to do with this conflict, so why did they die?
This story is not unique. In almost every Syrian school, there are casualties like these. Last November, the entrance of this school in Damascus's old town was hit by 3 mortars. 4 children and a bus driver died at the scene.
I haven't been able to accept these deaths until now. They were my kids. I can clearly see their smiles and hear their voices. I still see them in my dreams. Nothing can justify this. No religion, no amount of thinking makes it acceptable.
But life, the principal of the school tells us, must go on.
Our grief and pain is immense. Both the children and the administration have been deeply affected, but it's also encouraged us to continue our teaching and our learning. The mission of education is to bring up new engineers, new doctors, new teachers, to build up this country. We have to resist this violence.
And this will be anything but an easy mission.
After a short break, kids at this school in Damascus are back to their classes. But thousands of other Syrian children all across the country still can't make it as their schools are destroyed and families displaced.
There were around 20,000 schools in Syria before the crisis. Today, at least a fifth of them are gone. And even if there is a school nearby, parents are simply too afraid to let their kids out of their sight. Once a thriving nation with a strong education system, Syria today faces not just a crisis of the present, but of the future too. Maria Finoshina from Syria.